The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has said strategic steps are being put in place within the corporation and intensive engagement with international oil companies are ongoing to enable it to achieve the 3 million barrels per day and 40 billion crude oil reserves target by 2023. Chief Operating Officer Upstream Mr. Roland Ewubare made this known in an interview with Oil and Gas Forum crew in his office in Abuja.
We just need to engage our partners, partners being the operating companies in this environment, primarily the IOCs, because those are the guys who have the capital and the technology to produce the sort of scale that we're looking for. All right, we need them on one hand. Then we need to also engage the legislature, all right, and our bosses in the executive branch to put the framework, structural framework in place that will enable the operators, help us achieve, because you need both. If you don't have those two elements in alignment, then you're not going to succeed. So the difference this time is that we're going to actually work to try and put the underlying pieces of this puzzle together so that you can then build on that framework.
He stated that the Nigerian hydrocarbon firmament is in dire need of a holistic petroleum legislation that would address the fiscal and host communities' concerns to attract more foreign direct investment, FDI, in the face of growing competition in Africa.
That bill has to, that legislation has to cover governance, for example. How would this industry be structured? Role of NNPC as National Petroleum Corporation, role of a regulator type entity. How do you manage the joint venture assets? How do you manage production sharing? So some sort of description of how the environment will work. So you check that box first. Then you've got to have some clarity around fiscal terms, all right? So a guy who brings $1 to invest in this environment, what is his expectation in terms of economic return? That has to be addressed. The host communities where we have most of our production emanating from, what's the plan to give them a sense of belonging and give them a stake in this whole oil patch?
The upstream expert shed more light on the mode of operations of the Nigerian model of joint venture JV and production sharing contract, PSC.
The law itself is one element, that's the legislation. On the back of that legislation, us, NNPC, as concessionaires, because the deepwater blocks are our blocks, we then bring in our IOC partners as contractors to work those blocks on our behalf.